The fucking Timberwolves did it. I mean, like John, we were just, look at John right now.
They said we wouldn't do it. I ain't gonna even do that, bro. But I did say game 7, I feel like it was repeatable. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the same, but I think that defense, bro, different. And also, Ant at the top of the key is the difference maker to me. Ant giving them all, like, bro, Murray, the first half and second half, totally different player because Ant put that heat on. When they ratchet that defense up, I wouldn't say it's impossible to beat them, but they make it extremely difficult. And we just saw that man snatch the head of the motherfucking MVP right on fucking national television. Bro, so fucking excited, bro. I haven't been this excited about basketball in since 2016, 2017?
Before we talk about the actual game, that's what I want to talk about. Because you and I said the same thing when we hopped on. I have friends who are, I wouldn't say falling away from basketball, but they're much more heavily, it was like 50% football, 50% basketball. They're falling towards football. I do think the Europeanization of the league, I do think that has something to do with it. And we talked about that with Merrill. You're not having arguments in 7th grade about Jokic, bro, with your friends. You're just not. You could love seeing him play, all this other stuff. But I have people texting me with emotion, like you said, that was emotion we saw and felt for Braun versus Steph, not for Jokic versus Giannis, whatever else. And I feel like Ant being the guy that everyone wants, we all want to be the face of the league, has a lot to do with that. But tell me about what Adrian was saying to you. Tell me about how you felt watching the Timberwolves snatch this shit back for real American basketball, John.
As a dude who watches just because I love the game, I haven't been that excited personally. Adrian will hit me up with highlight. He's been watching. He's talking about all his friends talking about it too. But he said, I know this playoffs is good because my best friend John is calling me talking about it. And I know he watches all the games, but he never hits anybody up to talk about it outside of the podcast. Like, I really am enjoying it. And I think the thing is, it's Ant, bro. Like, when's the last time we saw a player that was that good and that relatable? And that shit when he said, I told him, motherfucker, seeing you at game 7. Told Chuck, bring your ass. That's how my niggas talk, bro. And we don't see people like Brian, Katie, all these guys, you know what I mean? Like, they're so media trained. Ant doesn't give a fuck. He's so relatable, and he just won me over. I tweeted last game, I was like, I need a jersey because I just like who he is. And on top of it, he's a great fucking basketball player, bro. I mean, like, he is something special. And to see him in a game 7 struggle in the first half, you know what I mean? Pick it up a little bit kind of figured out in the third quarter, and then like he's like, how I can really get shit going is on the defensive end. You feel me? And like I was talking to Josh about this shit. Like when people talk about getting a rhythm, when you're playing your best, basketball is jazz. You know what I mean? You have to feel it when you're playing, when you get in the rhythm. You have to feel it. You know what I mean? If you're counting your steps on some and 5 and 6 and 7, you're not going to be at your best. You know what I mean? And that's what he did to Murray. Murray was in a rhythm. He was playing like, bro, he was Miles Davis with the motherfucking trumpet. You know what I mean? And Ant put that heat on his ass and made him think. He was counting his steps instead of just playing and getting the feel. And it was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I think there was one other really relatable moment that you mentioned, like you saw him talking shit to the old man sitting courtside after he hit the 3. It's an old man who was like, oh, and he's looking, he's like, where are you at? And then he threw a little something else I can't say at the end of it too.
He called it an N-word? But what he mixed it in with? Did he hit him with the fuck nigga? Because don't tell me that, bro. I might explode right here. Oh man, where you at, fuck nigga?
It was just straight. He hit him with it neat. No ice.
That's enough. Yeah. That's enough. I ain't mad at it. You know what I
mean? I could not agree with you more though. And I feel like he made me root. Shea Serrano tweeted this, but he was spot on. He made me root for Cat and Rudy Gobert.
Bruh.
I was rooting, like,
I'm not mad at Cat, but the Rudy part, we locked. Yes, go ahead.
I mean, Cat's not my guy, but Rudy. I mean, I was yelling at myself about Rudy Gobert in the midway through the fourth quarter. I was like, "Who's talking shit on Rudy Gobert?" It was like, me. Like, so I was talking.
So you jumped on the Glaze train, brother.
But I do think there's something to his leadership like we talked about, that he's elevated everyone around him to where you see Cat that put back hammer dunk, and he didn't even react. He just ran back to play defense, bro.
Business as usual, but we just playing basketball, baby.
This is the second time in franchise history they're going to the Western Conference Finals, and he has all these dudes acting. This is Mike Conley's first Game 7 win ever. He has all these dudes acting like, of course we've been here. Of course we're going to beat the defending champs in Game 7.
Them niggas was crying from winning the playing game. Wasn't this that team? Like, this is the same players that were crying, like celebrating, hugging each other on the scorer's table. Like, you know, look at, you know what I mean? Like, and these dudes are going to they have a real chance at winning a chip. Ant has changed this franchise completely with his energy and his mindset. You feel me? Like, and to the fact that somebody that wields this power, you know what I mean, is a relatable regular human is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
When we're talking about his height, they said he was 6'3". I'm like, I would have swore to God the nigga was at least 6'6".
Right.
Would have bet way more money than I had on it. Like, fuck, it's a dude, the aura he comes with, the way he plays. It's just so impressive. But yo, we got to give it to Rudy Gobert. 4 for 4 from the free throw line in the big minutes when they could have made a run, getting fouled, 4 for 4, had that fucking fadeaway. I'm like, Rudy, who? Is that Gobert? Is that the same nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, insane. Naz Reid came in after Cat got hurt. Cat was the one getting buckets. Like, Cat was the one playing well, kind of keeping them in it while, you know what I'm saying, while everybody else was struggling. You feel what I'm saying? And like, he goes out. Naz comes in off the bench, plays great defense on Joker. You feel me? And then it's great on the offensive end as well. I mean, it like that. This team is so exciting. When Ant hit that 3-pointer to put him up 10, I felt I was going to levitate. Like I told you, I would have electrocuted a nigga if I would have touched somebody, bro. I'm talking about, bro, skin on, just they bringing the love back, bro. They bringing the fun back to basketball. G in Minnesota, insane.
In Minnesota,
this, like, how?
And we said too, right when we hopped on, this felt like I love the new era of basketball. I love the Warriors run. Sure. But this to me felt like real, like this felt like a real fucking basketball game. These dudes were beating each other up. Fucking Ant is snatching the ball off Jamal Murray and then running the other way and dunking him. This was real fucking hoops. Goddamn. This is not just what's the analytic, how much space can we get, and what's the analytics of how efficiently you can shoot the three. This was fucking hoop. This was beating each other up at like 3 dudes blocking Jokic and running down the other court and dunking, bro.
When niggas talking about dog shit, that's what we talking about. That was some doghouse ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ant at the top of the key, like, yo, my shit ain't going well, but how I can affect the game? Locking down, standing the nigga up, bro. He had 24 in the first half. None of that, bro. I think he had 7 in the second half. You feel me? Like, couldn't get shit going. Like, and it was from the best player on the team.
It was Ant.
It was Ant.
Who, and by the way, who already said on the post-game interview, they asked him at the end, and you talk about how he's different from the usual media trading. If you ask any of the legends in the NBA right now, Bron, KD, Steph, what do you think about your Western Conference final matchup? What are they going to say? They're a great team.
Tough team. We gonna blah, blah, blah.
It'll be a good series. Yeah. This is what Ant said. Should be fun. Kyrie's my matchup, so we'll see what we can do.
Listen, hey, I'm going to cry, Mike. I'm going to cry. It's back. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get the skills. With skills, we've always had the skills. Yeah. But the spirit, nigga. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When this guy is like, I want that nigga. I want the motherfucking alchemist with the basketball. I want the wizard with the basketball. I want to really show what time it is. I love this, bro. I am so excited about it, bro. I'm so excited. I never thought I'd be this excited about basketball that didn't involve the gods. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Joker's not a god. You know what I mean? But like, that didn't involve like the Brons and the KDs. I thought I was gonna just be watching on some, bro, I'm locked the fuck in. I need this. More, please. Yeah.
I think, but you hit it exactly, because we had the dudes we looked up to growing up. We had, Michael Jordan. We had the legends of the 90s. Then we had the dudes who are our age, right? We're like, we're not Bron and KD and Steph, but those dudes are all within a couple of years of our age range or whatever. And then all of a sudden they start aging up we were talking about it all season. Like all they were doing all year was talking about the Lakers, the Warriors on like ESPN and shit. It's like these teams are in 9th and 10th place.
Bro,
this is all we have left media wise.
Bro,
it kind of felt like the party was ending. You know
what
I mean?
Thirsty. It felt thirsty. It's
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we get this dude coming in. And like, dude, the Nuggets are a great team. And I'm not gonna like they're a small market, all that. I don't give a fuck. That's good basketball.
Yeah.
They're a fun team to watch. I like Joker. He's a great fucking basketball player. The things he does is special. But like Ant coming in and on this big stage, this young dude who we thought this was 3 years out at minimum.
Right.
You feel me? Like, you know, I mean, this nigga is 22, leading a team. Like, and I didn't realize this because he's so young. It's like I was like, these guys are young and they have it. They were saying without, and not including Ant, they're one of the older teams in the NBA.
Right.
Ant injects a level of energy into teams.
Confidence.
Confidence, bro. Like, it's just it's crazy what we're watching. It's hard for me to truly understand. But like for a dude who is damn near 20 years younger than me to have me this connected to the game, I mean, he's just special. He is special. And you know, and hats off to the Nuggets. Great basketball team. They fought hard, bro. I thought they was gonna cook these boys how they started off.
Yeah.
But that Timberwolves defense, when has you seen like everybody can fucking lock up? The defensive player of the year is a dude that we see to be fooled more than other players, which is crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But he played really well in the fourth quarter. He played physical. Period. And he played, yeah, absolutely. But
at the rim.
But you just said you got the defending champs at home in their place, a place they have a pretty historically strong home court advantage. You held them to 37 points in the second half.
And bro, a half.
You had this is a stat everyone should be talking about tomorrow. Jokic and Murray combined for 69 of the 90 points that the Nuggets scored tonight because of what you just said. Everyone's getting locked up. They're not just focused on we got to get the ball out of his hands. He's locked up too. This motherfucker locked up too. MPJ 3 for 12, one of 6.
Joker, what that nigga? How locked up?
Jokic and Murray 6 of 22 from 3 tonight. They did score 34 and 35 points, but 6 of 22 from 3.
When it mattered, they had that heat on them. And the thing about playing that type of defense, I think the reason like they have halves like that, we saw it with the Lakers. We talked about how the Lakers, they started off with their defense. It's hard to play basketball that way. Where like the defense is what gets you going. Where you're standing up, guys like the Nuggets, like where they're deep offensive.
Right.
And you are locked in on everybody. It's hard to play basketball like that. But when they decide to lock in, bro, that is one of the I've never 1 through 6, just solid elite defenders. Right. It's just, bro, it's special. It's special. But I'm happy to be here, my nigga. That's where I'm at with it. Just happy to be here, bro. I'm happy to be able to watch this, bro. I think we saw the beginning of something special. And it feels like just the beginning. You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree with that more. I also think you talk about a defensive team. The part that's craziest to me was they were down. I want to make sure I have the numbers exactly right.
15.
It was 53 to 38.
Yeah.
53 to 38. Now you tell me another sport where you think a defense first team has a shot in that scenario. If football, you're a defense first team, you're down. Sorry, that was not the way the game plan worked for you, right?
Right.
They walked their ass down. They're down 15 and have faith in their defense to just chip away at it, get down by 1 going into the fourth quarter. And I'll tell you what, John, when I really felt like I knew we were gonna have a special one was Gobert hits that first bucket, that almost accidental go-ahead bucket.
The universe talking. That's that foreshadowing we talked about. Bro. I was like, go who? You know what I'm saying?
Mike, the chat also wants you to apologize to Gobert right now. They're begging for it.
I am not going to apologize to Rudy Gobert.
What you got against the Fritz, bro? Is this a long standing
here's the lane I'm going to split. I'm not going to apologize to him, but I am going to say that I was wrong. How about that?
Wow.
Does that work?
This is the opposite of who you are, though. Like, I know Shaw ain't letting that go.
I'll let you know if they accept it as an apology.
No, put the poll up on that if they'll accept that or not. I'll say this. The thing that I find fascinating about Rudy Gobert, and today he plays so well in the fourth quarter that I'll move him from infuriating to fascinating in the way that my brain.
The first half was frustrating.
Is that he's always playing at an extreme. There's not a lot of plays that he's involved in defensively or offensively that are boring normal plays. There's not a lot of pass into Rudy Gobert, pass out to someone who misses a three-pointer. It's if they give him the ball, something fucking weird in one direction or another is happening. And it's the same thing when he gets involved defensively. It's not a lot of he's hedging on a pick and roll and they kick it out. It's guys feel compelled to attack him. And then sometimes something really cool happens. And sometimes Jokic, 2 minutes before he started the fourth quarter, that was unbelievable. Jokic hit that man and his body disintegrated. He just stopped existing on the mortal plane for 30 full seconds before he picked himself up off the floor. So he is both of those players. And that's what makes him like I said, he's fascinating to me at this point. Because I did not think, based on what we've seen from him, even in the playoffs, I didn't think he had it in him to nut up the way he did in the fourth quarter. But I'm giving him all the credit for the fourth quarter. He turned his shit around. He played an unbelievable fourth quarter. I'm not going to apologize to that man. I don't have that in my spirit. But he prayed to the fucking frog or the Eiffel Tower or whatever he needed to do before that fourth quarter, and he went out and played 12 unbelievable minutes of basketball, or 8 until he fouled out, whatever it was.
The philosophy changed, like we said. When he's off Joker, it's a much better situation. You know what I mean? But on the offensive end, like I said, those free, how many, was he 7-3? How many 7-3 bigs are you confident in?
Clutched up,
bro.
And he's not good. That's not
buzzer beater. The little shot clock. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, bro, you feel me? And this is the thing. I'm not mad at Gobert if he just stays out the way. And I think he knew when to get involved and to stay the fuck out the way. Don't clog the lane up. He knew how to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? The biggest quarter of maybe the Timberwolves' potential one of the biggest quarters in the history of the franchise, and he played great. Can't take it away from him.
We got to talk a little bit about Naz Reid as well. Naz Reid coming out 6th man of the year for a reason, because like you said, they put him on Jokic. You could see Jokic almost like when you're playing basketball and the dude you don't want to be guarding you is on you. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was like. He tightened up.
For sure. And the dude, we talked about this a little bit before, where in free agency, nobody was really stressing Nas. He wasn't getting 30 what's up, Cliff?
We've all had a difficult time buying tickets. Lakers games are expensive, but I try and find games to take my son Vinny to. It's hard to find good deals, especially at the last minute.
You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you.
The Lakers have a ton of home games the remainder of the year. I like that in the Game Time app, they have last-minute tickets. You can see views from every seat.
Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Their all-in pricing shows your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal before you buy. They also have the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code J&J for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code JANDJ for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Claire,
your opinion of Rudy Gobert in this moment is what we were just talking about.
Okay, so that I feel good about. I feel solid. I feel like I was right, generally speaking. He did get out of his own way in the second half, which
is literally what John just said.
Really? Because we're simpatico.
Yeah. You feel me? We locked in.
But yeah, he got out of his own way in the second half, but I still do feel pretty I don't feel like we were wrong about him overall, because her first half performance is the reason, in my opinion, they were down. They had to claw out of that deficit, but maybe they work well when they're clawing out of a deficit. I don't even know what to believe anymore. Is that why they won the game? Because they got galvanized at halftime from the huge deficit? What is up? What is down?
I think something that, because we're just about to sort of finish talking about Anthony Edwards, just something I want to say that I thought was so impressive was, they surprised him with the like, it was sort of, I felt like it was a twofold defensive strategy. They're going to blitz and double Ant every time he touches the ball. And then they're going to let Rudy post up on someone that it looks like it's easy for him to post up on because they trust that he's not going to do something good with the ball.
Yeah.
And it felt like it took Ant a full half to kind of adjust to, okay, I need to see the game different. I need to be positioned different. I need to run the offense differently. And you can see that's not a great part of his game yet. When he was kicking out, like he's maybe making the right read, but people are catching that ball at their shoes or they're catching it way above their head. It's not like Braun passing out of a double where it's like a shooting machine
right in their pocket. You know,
100%.
Right.
But he figured it out within the game 7. It wasn't a lesson learned. Next year he comes back to, and that to me was what was so impressive. It's game 7 on the road, and he was able to make that adjustment and figure that out within the game to still do enough to lead his team to a victory. That's the shit to do that at 22 against the defending the defending champs. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. It was so impressive to watch him sort of figure that out in real time because, like you said, he was struggling so much with that double team at first, and also to have the poise to be like, even if I don't have it, we're in it. And to be telling his teammates that on the bench, it kind of just speaks to what we were talking about last time about that maturity and, just his leadership. It was really incredible. Also, like, shout out to Karl Anthony Towns. I've been extremely critical of him. And I think he just deserved all the criticism that he's been given. He makes, more boneheaded plays sometimes it feels like than like anybody in the league. But he was incredible tonight, and he needs all the praise in the world because they absolutely do not win that game without him. Like, not even close. Obviously, it was an entire team effort, but I think he was the difference maker tonight, and he's the reason they're in the conference finals. So shout out to him for sure.
I think one thing too is on offense, when Ant can't get going, they kind of rush things. Like we talked about how, like if he passes it off and the ball comes back to him, that when the ball comes back, the double team isn't as tough. You know what I mean? So just get the ball back to him. Also, one thing when he'll pass off and he won't move, it'll be like a couple passes and they'll shoot it. They don't move the ball. They started slowing down a little bit and getting the shots they wanted. They weren't just taking what was accepted. You know what I mean? They were more patient as a whole on the offensive end, which helped. But also those, the defense just ratcheting it up and them getting those, runaway dunks.
Yeah.
Didn't help. But I felt like they all, in the biggest moment, calmed down, hit him with the woosah. Like, bro, let's just play ball how we play ball. And it seemed like everybody calmed down. It seemed like it was the opposite on the people who had already been there in the Nuggets. It's like they were pressing. And that's what's crazy too. And we talked about like they've been here before. And it looked the opposite, which is interesting. But man,
it really did. Yeah. That was what was so interesting. Especially, I feel like I knew the Wolves were going to win. I sound like LeBron. I knew 3 years ago. No, but I feel like in the third quarter is when it was really like, oh, the Wolves are going to win this game because Jokic had that sort of panicked, rushed look to him, like he did in games 1 and 2, and we hadn't seen that kind of rushed, like tilted off his axis version of Jokic since those games. I felt like even in game 6 where the Wolves were blowing them out of the water, Jokic he seemed like he for the most part like kept his composure. And this version of Jokic was the version from game 2 and game 1, I thought, where he kind of just looked like he got rushed out of his normal game. And when Jokic loses his composure, it's like the Nuggets go as he goes. So the second he loses his composure, I don't really feel like there's anyone on that team who can like steady the ship. Like he's kind of the guy that does it.
Yeah, well, like
he looked tired too. He looked really tired.
Well, he didn't rest.
We talked about like before. Yeah, we talked about before where he'll go 36 and 20, and like he's not even breathing deep. Like he's like he could just played an extra quarter. It seems like sometimes. And he looked tired. And I think that defense had him real tired. But he did look rushed. And there was a moment in that third quarter when the Wolves were still down, and you saw a look on Anthony Edwards' face. This is when I was like, they might do it. Where Ant didn't look like cool guy Ant. He looked like I don't know if you remember it, Mike, but he was showed him and he looked like it's time to fucking go. Like it was a little bit of like angst, like we gotta it's time to fucking go.
Well,
and it seemed like
I think Mike Conley hit a corner 3 when he was on the bench, and they cut to him as he was saying, "We're back in it." And but he had this look in his eyes that was like,
this is the time, you know.
Put me in right now,
you know what I mean? And so that's when I was like, oh, like he's even when they was getting cooked in certain games, he looked hella chill. Like we'll be all right. At this point, it was like, yo, we need to do this now. We don't do it now. Like, that was just it's interesting to see him have that energy and then go out there and play the way he did after having that bad, first half and 2.5 quarters or whatever. But anyway.
And speaking of Mike Conley, I don't know if you guys touched on him already, but like he was so determined. Like it was so clear. Like he was, to me, that he's that sort of missing piece for that team that took them from like the ceiling that they had from Ant's potential last year to now when they made that trade for him. Ever since that trade, I feel like that's when they've had that sort of championship ceiling, because he is that steadying force, right? Like that we were talking about, that Jokic isn't. Like when Jokic isn't for the Nuggets, they don't have one. Like he is that for the Wolves. And he seemed so incredibly determined in that second half. And it was like so inspiring to see. Like there was that one moment where he almost created the turnover, and then he dove on the ground for that loose ball, and there were 2 Nuggets trying to wrestle him for the loose ball, and he just like his entire body was just like wrapped around the ball, and he was just like shaking his head no, and it was just like that grit and that determination. Like who could you possibly be happier for than Mike Conley in this moment? Like nobody deserves this more. He's the most universally beloved NBA player I've ever seen. Like I've never heard in all my years of working in the league a bad word about him, and it's just so cool to see him have this moment.
You're right.
Everybody I know that knows him personally too talks about how kind he is when they met him. You know what I mean? Outside of basketball, like on the golf course type shit. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy, you hit a bad ball, he's like, it opens up down there, even if it doesn't. Like he's just very positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, that's how he plays basketball as well. Like it opens up down there. Like he's just hoping you haven't lost your ball. Like you'll be all right. You know what I mean? But he has that energy for sure.
I love the Johnny T Times insight.
That was up at some point. At some point.
Incredible.
I have my first unreleased Dragonfly Jones tweet. So Claire tweeted the video that I played for John of Ant telling Chuck, "Bring your ass."
It's so good.
And so Tyler said, "Whenever I'm talking to somebody about how we should kick it and they tell me bring your ass, I already know they're my type of people."
Facts.
Dude, he's just one amazing quote after another. Like it's a bottomless well. Like oh my God, I love Ant so much. I love that kid more every single day. And like, you just knew that post game was going to be amazing. Like you just like, it's like, oh, we have Anthony Edwards for a second post game. And it's like, cool. What quote that's going to be etched into the history books of the NBA are we going to get in this one? Because like, there's just a different one every time.
Well, he understands the promotional aspect of it, which like we've talked about the pluses and minuses on this show of how like a lot of these guys correctly see themselves as like Fortune 500 companies that have a partnership with the NBA, right?
Yeah.
And Ant understands the like, no, we got to like really sell this. And so for him, when they said, what are your first thoughts on the Mavs, to say, I'm guarding Kyrie, it was like, who's not immediately like, okay, what days of the week are that series going to be on?
So good.
Need.
So good.
But I think his relatability, him being normal, is his superpower. Like, he's obviously a great basketball player. That's he has to play good basketball for people to care, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But like him being relatable, like his relatability is his superpower. Where like he responds like normal people would respond. Like he's not a Fortune 500 company in his head. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's not a brand. He's just Ant. He's being himself, and I love that. Like he's bring your ass is probably what he says when he's at home with his homies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I told him, motherfucker, see you game 7. That's what he probably say when he's on the phone with his uncle or his cousins. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I love that about him. I just truly, truly love that about him. He's special.
He's so unapologetically himself. Like it's really beautiful to see. And to your point, like in an era of NBA players where they do all have kind of their own brands, their own like podcasts, social media stuff, whatever, it does feel like a lot of them are so heavily media trained now, and they're so guarded, and they have like all these canned answers to every question. And Ant is just someone like he's so authentic that just really shines through, even more so when he's surrounded by all these guys that are so calculated.
The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. With same game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down.
Oh boy, the playoffs have gotten fun. The Nuggets Timberwolves series is crazy, and we are locked in to see who comes out of Mavericks Thunder as well. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. That's code JENKINS Jenkins for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.